All right, guys, what's going on, everybody? So normally, we've been playing a lot of Pioneer lately, but this week we're probably going to be playing a bit of Modern, at least until I figure out what I'm playing this weekend. There is a tournament at a local shop here called Mulligan's Gaming, here in East Tennessee, and they are having a tournament. And they're calling it the Store Championship. I don't really know why they're calling it that, but I'm excited to play in it. I haven't really wanted to play a lot of Modern lately, just because it feels like that's all anybody is playing anywhere. So Modern has been driving me crazy, just at the thought of being forced to play it. So I didn't want to just jump straight into Burn. So we're going to play a little bit of Mono Red Prowess. This was an interesting list that I found. I like that it's playing DRC, Swiftspear, Soul-Scar, the typical creatures, and then we have Abbot of a Keral Keep and Bonecrusher Giant on top of that. So I'm pretty excited to try it. And the sideboard is also pretty interesting, but I'm just gonna run it and see what happens here. What's up, buddy? Hey, what's going on, Bryson? What's going on, man? All right, well, let's jump in here, see what we can find. I'll have to swap from Pioneer. 100 points. I haven't played Modern, honestly. It's been a hot minute. I'm hoping that it'll find games a lot faster than we do in Pioneer, just based off of the idea. Store Championship is a DCI event at every store. They get to choose the format and have special promos for prizes. So they used to have Store Championships back in the day, but it was always standard, and it was always right after the new set came out. So like I'm not used to it being Modern. I'm a little thrown off by that, but nonetheless, I'm excited to play. Is it still looking like you're gonna get to play in that, man? Same event, new rules? What do you mean new rules? Like it's the same concept, but the new rules are that they can like pick their own format and stuff like that? Is that what you mean? We are out of quarantine on Wednesday, so I think Mel and I are both going to play. Oh, that's awesome, man. Is everybody feeling better? I know that you said Madeline went down a little bit after the whole thing. You guys were trying to play it safe, so 1,200 active people in this thing, and I can't find somebody to play Modern with. I question if there shouldn't be a couple more fetch lands in this list. Like, say you shouldn't be playing like 4 turns and 2 arid maces or something like that, or it could be like 3 turns, 3 turns, 3 arid maces, um, just as a way to keep it going. So, um, to turn on the Dragon's Rage Channeler. All right, well, it's taking a minute to get us going here. I turned on something on Twitch, and it's called NRG Series $5,000 Modern Tournament, but nothing has came up yet, so I don't know what's going on. All right, let's go finally. Hey, Nostalgia, what's going on? Please don't let my first opponent be somebody who's not playing. All right. It's also going to be weird playing with Jegantha. Of course, I think that's a lot of the reason for playing like a lot of the cards that they are. This hand seems fine. We're gonna fetch here to try and thin the deck. Wish we had a Den of the Bugbear in our hand, but Nightbot, get in the chat. Love to see it. All right, our opponent Mulligan's here. Good news is that if our opponent, they're playing Lurrus, so if they're playing Ragavan, we have a pretty good Ragavan hand here. It has been so long since I played Modern on Moto. Oh, this is Burn? Okay. Well, the good news is that if it is Burn, Pyrite Spellbomb gives us a pretty good matchup. Riftbolt. Okay. So I think I'm actually going to hold on to the Pyrite Spellbomb because I want to be able to use my Lightning Bolts to save the Soul-Scar Mage if I need to. I'm going to try and force my opponent here to use 2 spells on it. I don't know if this is the correct play or not, but it feels good because the only way that my opponent really doesn't get a lot of like non-value here is if they have a Searing Blaze in their hand. But if they're forced to use another burn spell here, like if they have a Lightning Bolt or something. Okay, so we actually get to keep this. That's pretty good. Okay. And now we can attack in. We're going to go ahead and kill one of the Swiftspears just to try and keep stuff off their side of the board if we can. Is Jegantha a 5/5 or a 3/5? I can't remember. It is a 5/5, okay? Makes me think our opponent's holding up Lightning Helix here. Maybe not. Being able to put a 5/5 on the board will be pretty good as long as we don't die this turn. That is one of the main concerns here. We've drawn 6 lands. Alright, well. They have to have Boros Charm, 1 mana burn spell here to kill me. They're buying Lurrus here. Okay. We go to 9. I mean, I might as well run it out. Force my opponent to deal with it here. Attack, put our opponent to 7. So our opponent has Lurrus and 2 unknowns in their hand after they draw. Feels bad, man. So many lands. Feels bad, man. Yeah, it does. I won't lie. Drawing 6 lands here and 12 cards isn't exactly ideal. But I mean, it's okay. Like, there's still a potential chance for us to get out of this game. Okay. All right, we're just going to go ahead and kill the Lurrus and get in with the clowns here. Lava Dart was a very solid draw. And we kind of just get to shove in here. Because they have to double block, because if not, they're just dead because they're at 7. Means they probably blocked Jegantha. I guess they can go to 1 here. Alright, I'm going to hold the land. There's no reason to play it. So 2 burn spells here wins the game. They could still do it. The fact that they're drawing a card does not mean they're out of it, but... Any two burn spells here still wins the game. At least one of those cards is a land in their hand, though. Based on the amount of thinking they're doing, I dare say both of them are. That, or maybe he drew into a Lightning Helix and he's debating if Helix can get him out of this spot. Is Lava Dart very common now? I had a guy scoop 2 Archive Trap when he still had 3 darts in his deck and I was at 2. So I think Lava Dart's super common in Mono Red Prowess. I don't think Lava Dart's super common in Burn, if that's what you're asking. Kind of depends on what you mean right there. Ratchet Bomb is how we'll deal with their pro-red creatures. I think we'll bring in 2 Ratchet Bombs. I think if you attacked first without darting the Lurrus, you would force a double block without giving them a Swiftspear to attack back with. Yeah, shortly after I did that, I kind of thought to myself that was pretty aggressive there, and I should have just waited. I guess in my head I was thinking I don't want them to gain any life, but it was just wrong. Like I didn't like I just wasn't thinking. It just wasn't very smart on my part. I don't know. All of this is pretty good here, honestly. Maybe we cut 3 Abbots. Yeah, I think this is what we're doing here. I don't think Blood Moon's worth bringing in. Like, maybe there's some like weird game where like game plan where you want to bring it in on the play to shut down all of their white spells. It does shut down Lurrus, but I don't know how correct that is. Our opponent mulligans. We're gonna keep this. Our hand is really good. We even have a way to deal with their protection from red. Like whether it's a core Firewalker or a Sanctifier Invec, we have one to deal. We have a Pyrite Spellbomb to deal with that, so that's pretty solid. Or he just doesn't like to play against Mill. I guess that's also possible. Goblin Guide, okay. Bonecrusher Giant? Alright, that's a good one. We're going to say go here. We're just going to bolt the Goblin Guide. Or if our opponent here plays an Eidolon, we're going to, I was like, we would kill the Eidolon. Yep, trigger. Yep. Alright, we're going to say go here. If our opponent has a pro-white creature, we're in a pretty good spot. Our opponent kept 1 land, it appears. Okay. So I don't really want to run our Swiftspear out because we're running it into... We're just running it into a Rift Bolt, but at the same time we need to apply pressure. I think we're just going to hold up the Stomp here, and then we'll I'll take the angry concessions. Yeah, I have no doubt that you will. So we're going to go to 15 here. We're probably just going to stomp our opponent. Hopefully our opponent just kind of continues to miss on lands here. Of course, I say that as they're playing a land. Let's run out the Bonecrusher Giant and see what happens here. It is a sticky threat. They do have to shock themselves to kill it. How was the drive back? Honestly, is this Boros Charm or Helix? Helix us? Okay, so they're gonna leave the Bonecrusher Giant alone. The drive back wasn't too bad. Like there was a little bit of traffic, honestly. It was a little clogged up for a while coming out of Charlotte or coming out of the Salisbury area there, but it wasn't too bad once we got to 26. So. Okay, we're at 9. We're at 6. All right, we're just gonna try and run them over. Attack for 6. We put them to 12, and then next turn we have lethal. Light up the stage. Hit a land here. Hit an untapped land, I should say. We are playing Den of the Bugbear. Honestly, I'd probably be okay with a Den too. There is not a difference between 5 and 6. Alright, run out the Soul-Scar Mage. We have super lethal next turn, so we either die here or we win. Notably, he does need 2 burn spells here. He did not have... He either had a Lightning Bolt and he was holding it up in case we tried to kill him there. I don't think... Yeah, Lava Dart wouldn't have been enough. I could have run out the DRC here. I don't really see the reason for that. Our opponent has the win and didn't go for it there while we were tapped out. That's just bad manners. You hear about the new MTGO update where you can play your lands up front? No, I did not hear about that, and I hope you're being serious and not just full of garbage. All right, we're just gonna pile it on now. If he has something, he has to cast it now. But if he doesn't have anything here, like... Okay, then you go to 12. Lightning Bolt puts you to 9. It's got to be more than lethal, but let's just lay it on thick here. All right, cool. Our opponent missing land drops there for the first. I can't remember. I think remember if they missed it for 1 turn or 2, but missing land drops for one, like the 1 or 2 turns that they did, kind of just cost them the game. So 1-0 with the old mono red prowess deck. Oh, Nightbot's talking. We didn't really get to play DRC that game. Like there was a turn when we could have played it, but like it would have been fine, I guess. There was also the turn where we could have played this hand's really good. We'll keep this. There's also the turn where we could have played it over the Soul-Scar Mage, but I think that's just wrong. Personally. Silent clearing. Okay. I'm curious to know what they take. Honestly here, like what they take will probably tell us quite a bit about their hand. Hey, thanks for the 10 months, Kyle. I appreciate it, buddy. Take Swiftspear? Okay. If they're playing removal, it's Path or Fatal Push, so running out the DRC here, like to avoid like an opposing Firebolt or something like that, is kind of irrelevant. Nothing's really changed by our course of actions here. They either have removal or they don't. So I said howdy ho, it's your ho Kyle here. Yep, I got you. Loud and clear, buddy. Okay, so they're gonna Inquisition here. Probably take my Bonecrusher Giant if I had to guess. Okay, they take the Lightning Bolt. Interesting. So it's like black. I don't really understand. Like I thought maybe this was like some kind of Reanimator deck at first, but I don't know. Like maybe this is just like Stoneforge mid range kind of thing. Kyle being needy, so please respond. I did respond. I know it took me a second, but I got there. Right now we have land, creature, instant. Let's at least get value out of this. Put into the graveyard. We don't need another Den of the Bugbear. Would have loved to have seen like a. Would have loved to have seen like a lot at the stage off the top, Firebolt, anything to turn on the DRC really. So it's just like damn. Night's Whisper. All right, truly have no idea what's going on here. Lava Dart is an instant and does not turn on DRC. Like, don't get me wrong, we could cast it and try to find something, like try to find a sorcery to mill over into the yard. So the opponent kept a hand with such questionable mana. It's some sort of Pox deck, I think. Pox makes a lot of sense. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, Pox does make a lot of sense. Yeah, Pox. Yeah, the flagstones of Trokir actually kind of gives away Pox. So Knights. I didn't know Pox played like Night's Whisper and stuff like that. This is damn okay. They go to 8. Okay. Do they get to just get one or get one tapped on the battlefield tapped? So they could have Path here, I guess. Scalding Tarn is not what I wanted. I mean, if we just kind of keep sitting here, given them enough time, they will do something. We are going to Lava Dart here during their turn. I guess we could have Lava Darted to put a lot up the stage in the yard or something, like, or a Firebolt. I don't know if that's correct or not. Too much sense. Must be blue-white control. Yeah, it's clearly blue-white control, Kyle. I mean, they do have half of those colors, but no. We're getting pretty close to using Den of the Bugbear here. Our opponent still has 4 cards in hand, so I'm not sure if we'll ever get to put Jegantha in hand, perhaps. Yes, I definitely should have put Jegantha in my hand. I just was not thinking. That was dumb. All right. Yep, he goes to 10. Now, even our worst turn next possible is us crashing in for 4 with the Den of the Bugbear. We're only looking for basics. We're just going to fetch during our upkeep. I think the idea of 2 more cards is just better here. So we'll put our opponent to 9, cast Light Up the Stage with a floating mana. Light Up the Stage number 2, I guess, is fine. Cast. No, we'll want to attack with the. We'll want to attack with the Den of the Bugbear, or use Jegantha next turn. So we're definitely going to play out our stuff here. I don't know if it's worth it to actually go ahead and pop the Spellbomb during their turn or not. God, are we sure this is Pox? Playing a lot of weird lands for it to be Pox. Yep, they go to 9. Alright, let's hit them for 2. Put them back to 7. We can use Den to kill the Kaya. It's quite a few lands here. If he had a removal spell, he would have played it already, so at least we know we're getting rid of the Kaya here. Feels like our opponent might be flooding out a little bit like we are, so... Vindicate? Okay, that's interesting. Lingering Souls. Alright, so... yeah, this is a wild deck. I mean, we might as well just attack. Like, if they want to take 1 and go to 5, that's cool. If they want to have 1 less blocker, I'm also okay with that. We're going to play Soul-Scar Mage and then put Jegantha into our hand. And we'll say go. Flashback Lingering Souls here. No, Prismatic Ending? Okay. Now flashback Lingering Souls? No, cast new Lingering Souls. Okay. Serve it up one. I like it. I like it. Get busy. Now we're just going to 2 here, get through their turn. Upkeep, we'll fetch for a basic. Spellbomb's not bad. I'm going to hold it. I don't think there's really anything we're going to draw that I want to have it on the field for. Yeah, I don't really see a reason to have it in play. Vindicate? Okay. Vindicate's a pretty solid one. They're going to hit us for 3 and then flashback Lingering Souls, I imagine. Man. Like, drawing a card, like, is getting rid of 2 damage. Like, and they got rid of our Firebolt, so we're not even in a place where we can do that. Really needed them to, like, brick and pill a land one time. That last turn. Yeah, we're going to go to 8 here, and holding out in hopes that we draw into something really good. Well, I have 7 points on board, which puts us to 1, not 0, so... Alright, well, we're hanging on to a dream here. Yeah, we're at 1. Alright. Double bolt. Oh, 1 bolt's not good enough. Oh well, we fought it out there. Had land and Godless. Yeah, and Night's Whisper in hand. Makes sense to me. Alright, they play a lot of weird lands. I think Blood Moon will be pretty solid, and I think Relic will be pretty good. Takes their Kaya stuff offline. Does it? I don't know. It just has a few different options. Firebolt seems like the Pyrite Spellbomb seems like the worst card. Yeah, I guess let's try it like that and see what happens. Please no Pox for the final damage. Oh, Pox right there would have been bad. Would have been a blowout. Like at that point, they hadn't had one all game. I wasn't even really convinced they were playing it. So at that point, if they had one, it was just kind of like, oh well, like whatever. Play Relic. Oh, hang on, I'm getting a phone call. Alright, our opponent took our... Oh, I didn't hang up. There we go. Our opponent took our Blood Moon, which is kind of what we were hinging off of a little bit there, so that's a little tough. Yes, Urborg, I know. Fatal Push inbound? No? Alright, like, from what I can tell so far, they're only running, like, they're only running, like, sorcery speed removal. I answered a phone call. Did we get there? 2 damage short in the end. Feels bad, man. Yes, we did fall a little short. Our opponent was at 6, and we had 2 Pyrite Spellbombs on the field. So... Like there was 2 Pyrite spell bombs, and we had a chance of drawing into a burn spell, and we just kind of whiffed. So we lost the first game, but that's cool. We're still in it. All right, Jegantha, let's dance. Would really love to see like an Abbot, and like we haven't seen an Abbot yet. I'd really like to see one, honestly. I like this is the kind of spot that Abbot of Keral Keep would be great in. Getting us an extra card like this would be awesome. So. Okay, our opponent's going to play something here. Okay. All right, so we're going to run out Jegantha, and then we're going to dart the Liliana here so that they're plus to take up the discard. We can discard our Lava Dart here and still be in a pretty decent spot. Well, things said and done. I feel like the deck needs more fetches for sure. I agree, although I tend to add too many fetches into every one of my decks. So that was actually one of the comments I made when I started, like in the introduction of this league here, is that 4 fetches didn't feel like enough to me. This definitely feels like a 6 fetch kind of deck. What in the flying Sam hell is that? Okay. I mean, you only ever take one of this deck to fetch, and we are supposed to be the fast one, so truthfully, I think we could play a ton. I mean, I think the most, like, you're playing Den of the Bugbear, like, you're playing 20 lands. I think the most you'd ever want to play is 8 fetches. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but that's definitely what it feels like to me. Alright, so we get to kill Liliana this way. We're going to activate, make them exile a card. I will cycle the Relic here if he tries to, like... Okay. So they are playing Pox. Okay, I mean, I have to say, Nostalgia, you were right, but I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. Playing Pox in this deck feels wildly crazy to me. Like they're playing. I don't know. They're just playing so many different things here. Maybe I just don't know enough about Pox decks to like understand like what they're doing, but that definitely feels like a not a great one. All right, we're gonna use this because if he ever gets to eternalize, we actually just he gets the card and there's nothing we can do about it. So we're gonna do it now. I think one of the problems we'll run into in this matchup is that they're just the better mid-range deck than we are, so it's tough to kind of outgrind this deck. Buddy, what are you trying to do? You about to play that 5/5? Okay. All right, Abbot's a good one. We're mounting some kind of a board here. All right, we're gonna start fueling the graveyard here. We're just gonna pay 3 for light up the stage. All right, that's pretty sweet. That this feels pretty good. Hopefully our opponent just like pills a land or something here. Our opponent's had a couple of pretty good draw steps here. Last game they had a pretty decent draw step off the top. They pilled a removal spell for our Jegantha when we were in a pretty decent spot. I've never played Pox, so I don't really have any strong opinions. Although it is amazing that the opponent somehow managed to 2-for-1 themselves with Pox while having a flagstone on board. Yeah, that was something else. All right, so we put our opponent to 12 and then put them to 6. Like a lot up the stage would be a great draw here. I feel like that was a pretty good draw step. Drawing Blood Moon here basically shuts them off of like half their lands here. So, and it trumps the. All right, never mind. It just becomes a mountain, so it doesn't matter. So they have nothing on board, and they basically have a swamp and some mountains, which does them nothing. So I think killing that Blood Moon there was a very good draw step. Now, unfortunately, we do lose our Den of the Bugbears, but I think it's worth it. All right, we'll run out the Soul-Scar Mage. I don't know, like, it does technically change the clock. We go from a 3-turn clock to a 2-turn clock here, so it does add value. All right, and our opponent concedes. Okay. The Relic wasn't great. Yeah, I think we'll run it back like this. I think if we're going to have Graveyard Hating, I don't think DRC is a good card to have in the deck. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels counterintuitive. His hand's also pretty good. I really like having Bonecrusher Giant in matchups like this is where you want it. Probably going to take our Soul-Scar Mage. Actually, if he has if he has Collective Brutality in his hand, he probably takes our Bonecrusher Giant here. Lets us run out our Soul-Scar Mage, and then gets to Brutality our Soul-Scar Mage. The Plane Cycling ability on Timeless Dragon is actually quite relevant against Blood Moon. It actually is quite relevant. Completely agree with you. All right, so we're gonna play around. We're gonna play around Collective Brutality here. It's like one of the worst feelings in the world when you're playing Burn is that you just run out a Goblin Guide and they just have the brutality to kill it, take a card, and some Draining Gain action. We're gonna go ahead and fetch. And I may be playing around nothing here. Like, he may just have, like, Dam or Fatal Push or something here that he can run out and kill our Soul-Scar Mage with, no problem. But I feel like it's better to try and keep our Soul-Scar Mage around than not, so... Okay. I kind of figured when we started this matchup that this was a Stoneforge deck, but it turns out it's a Pox deck. So, all right, so we have 3, 6, 8, 10, 12 points in our hand, and then 2 4/3s to follow it up with. Our opponent's also stuck on lands here, so all right, I'm just gonna run it out here, and then we're gonna run out the dart. I want to get a threat down here. A lot of Pistage is a really good pickup, but I want to have a threat on the field so that we'll have something to do. The good news is that they can never Prismatic Ending my Bonecrusher Giant. Now, granted, they have a slew of other cards in their deck that allow them to deal with the Bonecrusher Giant, but they can never Prismatic Ending it because they don't. Or I guess they do have the Abs and Triumph, so I guess they can. All right, so they don't have an answer to my Bonecrusher Giant, or they have an instant speed answer, and either way, I'm okay. If they have an instant speed answer, we just get to light up the stage for one. All right, we're gonna say go here. We can stomp and lava dart them. Gonna be honest, that wasn't even a card I was playing around. That's fine. Our opponent goes back to 12, which is fine. Like, it's not really that big of a deal. If they have another Blossoming Calm, it'll be a little bit of a blowout next turn. Alright, so they do draw a third land. If their play is Liliana here minus, we get to play Swiftspear, attack the Liliana, kill it, and then play Bonecrusher Giant here. Actually, that might be wrong because if they do anything that makes them tap out, Swiftspear and the darts is lethal. So yeah, never mind that. I mean, I don't know what they could have here, but it feels like they're basically just dead. Okay. Now that does throw a wrench in the plan here. Yep. If our opponent had... Okay, I don't know. Oh, here, baby. Hang on. Let me finish this and I'll look okay. So we have access to 3 lands. Our opponent's tapped out here. Bolt puts you to 8. Dart puts you to 6. And I have 1 land and no triggers, basically. Alright, well. Did I miss something? I'm sorry. Did I miss something here? They cast Blossoming Calm like last turn and during their turn. Is Blossoming Calm until their next turn? Oh, so they just have Hexproof. Alright, so never mind. We weren't going to be able to go for lethal anyway. Alright. Well, we have 2 threats on the board, and we have an opponent at 10, so... Alright, I forgot that the card said until your next turn, so that's pretty good. Need to be aware of overload dam on their turn. Yeah, if they spend their entire turn overloading dam, I'll bolt them and then slam the Bonecrusher Giant. So it's not like it's a complete bust if that's what they do. Okay, they're tapped out here. Alright, bolt them now to 7. Or do I bolt them to 7, put them to 5, and then they... So we have to have any spell, basically. I'm actually okay with that. That's pretty sweet. Blood Moon off the top is pretty good. Yeah, because Blood Moon puts them to 7, Dart puts them to 5, and then they go to 1. And then we have a single Den of the Bugbear left as lands with a Soul-Scar Mage. We're kind of hoping to just backpack, like, carries us to victory. The funny part here is they actually can't flashback Lingering Souls because of the Blood Moon. That's pretty neat. They can cast normal Lingering Souls though, so. So a lot up the stage makes it interesting. It's pretty clear they're going to block here, but we're going to attack and see what they do anyway. Okay, so they single block, which is fine. So I'm not gonna take the greedy play here. Having Blood Moon on the board and them only having a single plains means they really can't overload they can't overload Dam unless they just have another basic plains in their hand. So it feels like we're in a pretty commanding position here. So I'm okay with taking the more secure route. Plus, if they block the Bonecrusher Giant, they're just dead here. Unless they have Blossoming Calm, would be pretty bad for us. We're going to cast Light Up the Stage here. I feel like they have to have a Blossoming Calm in their hand or something here. Your Archive Trap fizzled that way? Huh. I am not going to run out the... I'm not going to run out the Soul-Scar Mage here. Them having Blossoming Calm would be pretty bad here because they go to 11. Yep. Did not run out the Soul-Scar Mage, trying to play around Overloaded Dam. Okay, feels like we're in a pretty good spot. And we can't do that, so 3, 5, 6. All right. Okay. Well, took a little bit longer than I expected there, but we ended up getting out of it. I'm going to take a short break here and grab some food, and I'm gonna be back here in just a minute. We'll finish out this league. All right. That ended up being a very short break. All right, we're 2-0. Hopefully it doesn't take very long to keep finding games here. On the draw again, which kind of sucks, but being on the draw with this deck isn't as bad as being on the draw with Burn, I feel like, so... Kahira. So we're playing blue-white control. Okay. So I'm going to lead on Swiftspear. If they have Chalice here game one, like, the game is probably just over. We're going to play Swiftspear so that I can play... so I'll have DRC and Pyrite Spellbomb next turn. This feels like a tough matchup. We don't really have Rolling Vortex on the sideboard or anything. And Blood Moon's generally not super great against these decks because they play a lot of non-basic lands. So, or they play a lot of basic lands, I mean. Chalice on one. Cry myself to sleep tonight. Well, we're going to put Abbot into play and hope it works out. Because, I mean, truthfully, like, that's kind of our game plan. Next turn, we can, like, try to prowess our way, like, enough points through. Yep, let that get countered. This is also a very different game if we're on the play versus the draw here. Like, granted, we're probably still not in a very commanding position or anything, but it is a very different game nonetheless. Alright, our opponent cycles here. Hitting a Bonecrusher Giant would be pretty sweet. Hopefully this isn't Supreme Verdict. Of course it's Supreme Verdict. We also have Jegantha. I'm not going to fetch here in hopes of drawing a land. Yeah, our opponent has 5 cards in hand. I mean, the only chance we have is that they don't have a answer to Jegantha, but that feels very unlikely considering they just spent a good counter spell to draw 2 cards. But we'll run it out and see here. This gets countered, we'll just concede. Okay. There was a small chance if they didn't have Supreme Verdict there for us to be able to just kind of like try and run them over a little bit. Let's see here. Do I want Shenanigans or Ratchet Bomb? Or is the matchup so bad either way that maybe I want some number of both? They play like Solitude and stuff, and I don't really think Ratchet Bomb and like a one-of Shenanigans is fine. I mean, Blood Moon's not like crazy in this matchup or anything, but it does help some, so. Worst burn spells. Alright, I don't know. Let's try it like this. What pattern are you sensing there? Was it the pattern that we're losing if they have like 2 of like a very reasonable number of cards in their deck? Yeah, we'll keep this. This is fine. We are going to lead on a fetch land here. Lead on Soul-Scar Mage. Because they can't get Chalice down fast enough to kill the DRC, and we would rather have DRC over Soul-Scar Mage if they do have turn 1 Prismatic Ending. Pattern that whenever bad things you mention is going to happen. You know, it's funny that you say that because I feel like that happens quite a bit to me when I'm streaming too. Like if I say, man, I really hope this doesn't happen, it happens. We're going to put that one on top. That's a pretty solid one. We like to see that one. Okay. All right. I mean, sure. Like, this gets met with a counter spell. Opponent goes to 19. Teferi would be bad news for us here. Alright, we're going to run out our Lightning Bolt here. Put that on top. You like to see that one. So we're going to go ahead and stomp them here because they more than likely don't have a Spell Pierce or something crazy. So some part of me wishes that was still a fire, but I understand why it's not. Go ahead and run out Bonecrusher Giant. Okay. The Solitude. Okay. Yep, that's fine. Let's go ahead and stomp this. We don't want any way for them to gain life to just be running around on the field. We're going to run out our Ratchet Bomb just in case they do peel Chalice off the top or something crazy. I don't know that Ratchet Bomb will be super relevant to this late in the game. Put a charge counter on Ratchet Bomb. Attack to Furry. Run out Ratchet Bomb. Put a counter on Ratchet Bomb, and now we can 6. Okay. So, my thought process here is it better to animate Den of the Bugbear or just attack them? Now, the problem here is that if we attack into a Solitude, there's only 2 left in the deck, but if they have a Solitude here, it's pretty tough scene for us. I think we'll attack them for 5, and then we will... And then we'll put Jegantha into our hand. Wow, you do have another Solitude. Okay. 3 Solitudes in the top 16 cards of your deck is pretty good. I think most people would agree with that. I feel like we made a pretty calculated attack there in the idea that them having the third one and as fewer cards was pretty unlikely, but nonetheless is what happened, so... That's a bearing? What do you mean a bearing? A beating? Oh, yes, it is definitely a beating. I just realized you guys can't seed it to fairy, so changing that. Let's run out Jegantha. They probably have a counterspell here of some kind. It's just counterspell, okay. This game's probably over. Cycle Shark Typhoon. Okay. It's quite the beatdown strategy. Forgot about the land. Gonna be honest, like I saw it, but I wasn't thinking about it. Okay. Well, blue-white control did not go our way. Not that I'm super surprised by that. That is generally a pretty tough matchup. One of the times when I would much rather be playing Burn as opposed to Prowess, but two and one. I kind of like the whole setup. I like the extra creatures that we have. I don't know, like one of the problems I've had with Prowess in the past, and now granted I say this because I haven't played Prowess since before DRC, but one of the things that I really like that I disliked about Prowess is that you had Soul-Scar Mage, Swiftspear, and Bedlam Reveler, and that was like that was the creature base. And occasionally the metagame allowed you to play like a couple Bonecrushers in the main or something like that, but or like one or two, but now that the way this list is set up, it's really cool because I don't know, just having Abbot and Bonecrusher Giant and DRC in the main are all really solid threads. Hi and good luck. We're gonna snap this one off. This hand's great. Your opponent has no companion, also keeps 7. Oh, thought I clicked on my land. Scalding Tarn leaves me a little worried here that they might be on Monkey. And if they are, I'm going to hold a Lava Dart for the Monkey here. They could be playing GDS. Doesn't feel that way. Okay. This definitely feels like Murktide. Yeah, definitely Murktide. Okay. Okay. Lava Dart that. And I did that before I let them go through all their stuff because they could have very easily, well, I guess they were just drawing a card then scrying. I could have let them do all of that and then killed that. I draw a land here. Let's see. what? We go upstairs. They go to They go to 10. They go to 8. And then if we play the Spellbomb, all right. So let's see. There's 1 on the board, and then 4 is 5, and then 3 is 8, and then 2 is 10. 11, so I can put them to 2 and have a Spellbomb on the field. Feels pretty solid to me. That's one thing about me playing this deck is that I do okay, and our opponent concedes. All right, cool. I do I do I do burn math a lot faster than I do this math. They play Blood Mode in their sideboard, so it's probably not that good to have it. This does feel pretty solid though. The Spellbomb seems okay. Firebolt seems mediocre. No, we're bringing in relics. We want to cut our DRCs. Like, don't get me wrong, it is a 1/1 that lets us filter through our deck in a pretty good fashion. Okay, first off, exclamation point, Foggy Bottom is not a command yet. Okay. My god. Elder Jeep Fiend, thanks for the follow 17 minutes ago. Sorry, I just now saw that, buddy. But I appreciate the follow nonetheless. We're getting pretty close to 100. I think that's like 97 now. Do you know, Carly? You don't know? Will you look? I'm curious to know how close to 100 I am, actually. 97? All right, well, 97. We're 3 follows away from 100, so that's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. All right, our opponent kept 7. Like, this hand is good, but yeah, we're going to live a little bit. I think this hand's good. Hell yeah. Oh, Lord. Here we go. 5,000 points. All right. Well, Bryson, you're going to have to text me your list, buddy. Because I don't have your list. You'll have to, like, text it to me or message it to me on Facebook. I'm actually going to hold up. I'm going to hold up Lightning Bolt here in case they try to run out the... Just in case they try to run out a monkey here, I want to be able to interact with it. I really don't want them to just be able to get the monkey down on top of me here. I'm going to run it out. I need to do something here. All right, well, run out our Soul-Scar Mage here. Probably gonna die here. I got you. All right, cool. What day works for you for me to stream it? Like, is there a day that works better or worse for you this week? I'll try to get it in this week. Yep, that's what I was trying to avoid happening. Right there. What they hit? Scalding Tarn. Of course, they hit a land. All right. They go for the monkey here. We're just going to stomp it. Expressive iteration's fine. Yeah, guys, for anybody who's been hanging out or anybody that's kind of new to the chat, Bryson just redeemed pick my MTGO or MTGA deck. And he's getting ready to make me play Mill. So if you like Mill and you like watching people play it badly, please stick around. Sometime this week I will stream that. Let's see. We're gonna stomp this. What days are you streaming? I'm not exactly sure what days that I'm streaming. I don't really know what my week looks like yet. I just got back from Charlotte for Thanksgiving, so. All right, we're gonna attack for 1. We're gonna light up the stage. Hopefully, hit a land here. Would love to see a land. Den of the Bugbear. I mean, it's a land. Like, would have liked better to have seen like a mountain there, because we know that they have a Ragavan in their hand. But yeah, I'm not sure what days I'm streaming. I'll try to figure that out a little bit later in the day, and I'll talk with Curly and figure out what days I'm going to stream, and I'll let you know what's going on so that you'll have an idea. Oh wow, light up the stage. That's insane. Ugh, into a Murktide? Oh no. Well, the good news is they only have 3 cards in their graveyard to hit, so it's only going to be a 6/6, which means we can get rid of it with our Firebolts here. Now, they might have a counterspell here. I'm not sure. I mean, if they have a Force of Negation. They pitched a Murktide region. Okay. I mean, I'm going to attack for 4. And my opponent goes to 10 here. Okay. I mean, all right, we take 8, go to 8. That is half our life total here. Unfortunately, the Relic came in a little too late. And our Pyrite Spellbomb. Oh my gosh. Man, he is just ripping our cards off the top. Just doing it to us. All right. I don't think running out a Bonecrusher Giant's the route to victory here, so... Oh. So virtually anything here. Two removal spells, a lightning bolt, like lightning bolt to just let them go upstairs. Like they I don't know, there's a lot of outs for them here. Especially with 4 cards. Alright. Well, we'll concede here. Alright, so we get to play game 3. I still don't think that Blood Moon is really worth. I think having the graveyard removal is really solid. I mean, I don't know. Like, it seems like a lot, but I think it's necessary. I think it's one of those things that you like. If I can keep Murktide off the field, then I think we're in a pretty decent spot. Ugh, man. I don't know. Like, man, this is tough. Because, yeah, we got to mulligan this. Now, this sucks because we don't have any creatures here, but... Well, our opponent kept 7. No. I hate that it always moves for the companion. Alright. No Flusterstorm, please. Which is a pretty common thing in their deck, so... Well, that's 2 mountains we're not going to draw, so... DRC, okay. DRC with no value? Okay, that's interesting. We'll probably, honestly, we're just kind of in a spot where we can hold up Spellbomb the rest of the game and try to iteration, okay? Because next turn we can put Jegantha into our hand and run out the and still hold up Spellbomb for Ragavan. But I would really, of course, I could also have Lava Dart for that. I really think I need to find a graveyard hate here, like either Relic of Progenitus or Soul Guide Lantern. Tomorrow or Tuesday is best for me. Just whatever day you're streaming, though, man. No pressure. We will get around to it sometime. Yeah, I'll see what I can work out. Like tomorrow or Tuesday should be fine. One of those days should be good for sure. I'll text you and let you know what's going on. Yeah, I think we're gonna draw a card here. It's a little aggressive. All right, force our opponent to run out their removal spell here. Yeah, they have Delirium, so if they have Unholy Heat, then it is dying anyway. Now we do have Lava Dart here to protect our, to protect against a Ragavan dash here. If that's something that we need to do. One top, one bottom. Okay. All right, we have dodged a Murktide to this point. I think we're gonna run out Jegantha here. We really just need to put something onto the field. They have to have an Unholy Heat here. Yep. Okay. This is the problem with this matchup is that they just kind of get to play control until they draw a Murktide Regent, and then they just kind of get to hammer us in a couple of turns and win the game. I also really like to see like a Bonecrusher Giant or an Abbot. Like that'd be a pretty good draw step. That's Murktide. Damn. All right. We dodged one as long as we could. We do have an Unholy Heat of our own in the deck, so... Yeah, we gotta draw a card. Yeah, there's just no way out of this one. Alright, well... Our 2-0 has turned into a 2-2 pretty quick. I can't remember what we lost to the first game. That last game was pretty tough, though, just because of... I mean, Murktide's just such a hard card to beat in mono red. I don't know, maybe it is worth it to have Blood Moons in that matchup. That feels... I don't know, that feels like a trap to me. I think having the 4 pieces of Graveyard Hate there is the way to do it. We just didn't see any of them to keep Murktides off the field, because if we see Relic there, we can just keep like running Relic every turn and keep them from... They basically have to get into a spot in the game where they can pay all 8 mana for a Murktide, so... Yep, we'll try it. I'm kind of taken back that there's so many hands where there's only one creature. Just because, like, we're playing 20. So it's just like half the, like, you know, like a third of the deck is creatures. So it's a little surprising. Okay, so they're playing Boros Prowess here. They're going to look at my top card, which is fine. We're going to attack and see what they do here. I know I'm playing 2 spells regardless of what my opponent does, so I'm playing my land ahead of time. That's why. Light up the stage. Let's see. Lava Dart light up the stage is pretty solid, especially considering we drew a 3rd land for our turn, so. Our opponent being stuck on 1 land is really solid. Okay. I would like to get the Soul-Scar Mage onto the table, or onto the battlefield here, but I think it's better for us to get their Swiftspear off the field. Whoa, nope, cast with Spectacle. Alright, Swiftspear light up the stage is pretty solid. Us seeing 3 light up the stages in the top 13 cards of our library is insane. Just puts us in one of those spots where we're just we've seen so many more cards than our opponent, like they can't really keep up with that kind of stuff. All right, they're playing Boros. Ratchet Bomb helps us deal with the 2-drop, like the Core Firewalkers or Sanctifier Invex if they're playing any. I don't really think Relic and that kind of stuff's worth it. So we will cut. I don't know. DRC seems like our worst creature in this matchup. Maybe I'm wrong, but like until you get it turned on, it's just a 1/1 that doesn't really do much. If somebody in the chat has a different idea or theory, please correct me. But that's my process behind it. My thought process is that it's just a 1/1. Well, if we don't have any lands, we got to mulligan this, obviously. 1-lander with multiple cards that we like. I think we're going to keep this and put the light up the stage back because I mean, honestly, like, that's going to take the longest to make it to the battlefield, so. Would love to see a land or like I don't know, like a lightning bolt here. Oh, they're going to use their mutagenic growth to protect it. They have to do it now, not during their turn when they can attack. That's one thing that I've learned about this matchup. When you're playing any kind of like damage-based removal against these the aggressive style prowess decks that are playing like white and stuff like that, is that you want you want to interact kind of like you do with Infect on your own turn, not theirs, because it puts them in an awkward spot. Land, please. Well, we have Pyrite Spellbomb to actively deal with the Sanctifier Invec, which is pretty sweet. And it's not like that's our only answer to some kind of like pro red card. Okay. Normally that'd be insane, but we're just kind of playing mono red removal right now. Honestly, our opponent's probably on tilt. Yeah, God knows I would be. Let them do whatever they're gonna do with the Monastery Swiftspear here. Okay, light up the stage is pretty solid. Would really like to see a land here because it would allow us to Unholy Heat one of the things that they play. Well, we're just going to run this out because it's blowout city here if they don't have anything for it. So plus if they run out their other threats and just kind of like play a lot to stage or something here, then like we don't really care. Now a braid or like a shenanigans or something here, a little bit of a blowout. Yep, you go to 18. We have a third Pyrite Spellbomb, so get wrecked, opponent. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If our opponent wasn't on a tilt-a-whirl, they are now. So, I mean, to be fair, in their position, I would be too. Triple pro-red creatures against triple spellbomb. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If I was my opponent and I had 3 pro-red creatures against a mono-red deck, and my opponent had 3 spell bombs and a Ratchet Bomb, I'd be a little upset about that. Let's run out Abbot of Keral Keep. All right, that's pretty solid. The best part is we have Bonecrusher Giant in our hand as another way to follow up and get rid of whatever they try to do here. Okay, sure. Man, I think we just gotta hold that Bonecrusher Giant. It's really our last answer to Luris putting Core Firewalker back into play. Oh yeah, you love to see it. Yep, play your Mistress Bauble. All right, I think that kind of locked up the game, if I'm being honest. I don't know what the last 3 cards in their hand are, but that's probably gonna do it. Oh, tap too many lands. And if they do have a Unholy Heat in their hand, they are in a pretty good spot because they can get rid of our Jegantha. It appears they do not. Yeah, we're gonna keep hanging on here. If it is mutagenic growth here, then we do have Firebolt. I mean, plus we have Stomp if we need it. So, like their hand has to be pretty stacked with pump spells here for them to really get away from this. You gonna make green here. Make red. You gonna kill? You gonna kill my Jegantha? You just wanted to draw a card. Okay. It really shows desperation for my opponent here, so I feel even better about our spot in the game now. Alright, and our opponent concedes there. Not that I can blame them. I mean, their back was against the wall. They didn't really have many options there, so... Well, we had a 3-2 league with Mono Red Prowess. I mean, it was a pretty good league. Like, I don't know, like we caught Blue-White's a bad matchup, and we played against Murktide, which I'm going to be honest, I'll look back on that matchup, and I probably didn't play the best. I can't really look and point out anything that I did wrong, but I probably didn't play the best. One of the things that me and Nostalgia and Bryson, kind of everybody in the chat had mentioned that that this deck needed more fetch lands, and I completely agree. I think you can be on 8 fetch lands because that leaves you with 9 mountains. So it also just the 4 fetch lands isn't enough. I think for deck thinning and for DRC. Um, so I don't know. That was a pretty good league. Probably made some questionable choices, but yeah, it was pretty fun. There's going to be more modern testing. I'm going to take about a 10 or 15-minute break here. I've got a sandwich I'm going to eat. And when I come back, I'm going to be playing Burn and Modern. That's my other option for this weekend. So it's probably the only two. This and Burn are probably the only 2 things I'm going to consider. So if you hung out for Prowess and you like Burn, stick around. I'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks for hanging out today, guys.